So in Scooby-Doo, Sword and the Scoob, everybody, I, 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 after stopping a very rude and unruly airplane passenger, that that was in danger of shutting down a local airline. Scooby and the gang are offered as a reward free a free vacation to a jolly old London, England, where it is discovered from DNA testing to figure out who the rude passenger was, or rather, who the monster was that was threatening to shut the local airline down. Through DNA testing, Shaggy discovers that his ancestors come from a town in England called Norville or Morgania, and Norville or Morgania is believed to be on what remains of the mythological Dark Ages Camelot, and once Scooby and the gang think actually arrive in Norville or Morgania, that they are greeted by the town's mayor Saunders, and Velma thinking, as she always does, that something like Camelot and King Arthur, for that matter, can't be explained, or didn't exist. That's when Mayor Saunders comes in and says that's actually what the town of Norville is actually celebrating, and basically, guys, the gang uncovers the story that Sir Norville is actually the rightful heir to Camelot, because he helped King Arthur fight back the evil Morgan Le Fay and the dragon, but one day Sir Norville disappeared, thus leaving King Arthur to watch over Camelot. But it was declared, should Sir Norville or a descendant of Sir Norville ever return, they shall be the rightful owner of Camelot. And all of a sudden, guys, right out of the blue, the ghost of Morgan Le Fay basically comes to terrorize the gang, and basically thinks that Shaggy is after all is actually Sir normal. But obviously Shaggy tried to say, "Hey man, look, I'm not the guy you're looking for." So, 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 so in an effort to rightfully regain control of um Camelot and take over the world, and not just Norville or Morgania. Um, Morgan sends Mystery Inc. back in time to the mythical age and time of King Arthur, and basically, guys, the rest of the movie is basically the gang reliving the prophecy of King Arthur that the gang learned about just a few minutes earlier from the storybook. And and when they arrive, they discover that 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 King Arthur, instead of being noble and honorable like a good king and ruler should be, they actually discover that King Arthur is is actually for is actually a pretty big jerk. He basically sees his subjects as unworthy, unwashed, common people, and it's not until through 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 actually meeting Shaggy and the gang, and and having to be convinced to do a jousting tournament to see who the better man is, because Shaggy wanting to fix one of his famous Super Shaggy sandwiches accidentally pulls Excalibur from its ancient stone. And two things real quick I want to mention, guys, is in the time travel bag sequence, we 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 we, we do see the montage of different eras of Scooby-Doo, of Scooby and the gang, including a pup named Scooby-Doo, and even a small reference of Scrappy's time with Scooby and Shaggy. The other thing is, all Velma wants to do throughout the entirety of the movie is get back to Crystal Covia, so she can watch another old Hanna-Barbera show that 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 if you had Boomerang back in the day, and you tuned into the Banana Splits every once in a while, you would remember all Velma wants to do, and Daphne to a degree, because they think he's hot and sexy, is go back to Crystal Globe to watch Thundar the Barbarian. Which they cannot do until this jousting tournament is complete. But 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 just as the tournament's about to get underway, Morgan actually returns to King Arthur's castle and freezes Fred, who 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 was originally going to represent Shaggy in the jousting tournament, because King Arthur, being the kind of asshole that he is, I'm just gonna put it bluntly, takes all the good Knights of the Round Table, obviously for himself, but Morgan Le Fay accidentally freezes Freddy, to the point where Daphne has to be Fred's fill-in substitute, and Daphne ends up actually winning the event for Shaggy. And like I said a minute ago, while the jousting tournament is taking place, Shaggy and King Arthur develop this kind of like a buddy relationship, to where that they both toast with a chunk of cheese, and King Arthur commands that the snack bar boy hand over 2 jars of peanuts for them both to share, because obviously, guys, a true royal king doesn't soil its hands by carrying money. And and it's after Daphne wins the tournament for Shaggy that determines him as the new true ruler of Camelot, the King Arthur's original prophecy, that Morgan actually comes back and kidnaps Shaggy for a few minutes of the movie. Now guys, Thelma also goes away for a chunk of the movie in an effort to try and pick up magic from Merlin, who instead of being a wise sorcerer, like he always is in the DC versions of himself, it is actually kind of a crazy crackpot idiot that references Barney from the Flintstones, and like Shaggy's like, how do you know Barney? He's from the future. And Merlin's like, he's just a caveman, what of you? And and he offers to try and teach Velma magic for nothing else other than so they can all go home, and Shaggy and Scooby can go back to the malt shop, and Velma can go home and watch Thunder the Barbarian. But it's after Velma finally figures out that she can't get the gang away from Morgan's emissary, the Black Knight, which is a tribute to the very first monster that Scooby-Doo Where Are You ever had, the Black Knight. Only this time, guys, I will say, this version of the Black Knight, it is actually a monster that would make Etrigan the Demon from the DC universe proud. Also, when the Black Knight's helmet is removed, he looks like something straight out of Ghost Rider. But but it's with another one of Merlin's crazy spells, and this is why he references Barney, that the Black Knight is defeated, and Morgan actually kidnaps Shaggy and takes him back to her there she she convinces him to sign over the deed of Camelot to 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 her, and I guess this is where I'll come out with it. More, Morgan does turn into a dragon, guys, and King Arthur eventually agrees to come with the gang to try and rescue Shaggy, but after trying to sacrifice him, seemingly sacrificing himself, and almost apparently getting eaten by the dragon, that's when Velma finally figures out that 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 all this was just a very big tourist trap set up by Mayor Saunders and the rest of the townspeople of Norville or Morgania, to because when Mayor Saunders found out that Shaggy and Sir Norville actually share the same name, that 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 they had to try and do everything that they could to get Shaggy to sign over his rights to the town, so that their new attraction could continue, and we actually find out that King Arthur is actually Winston, the actor that plays the new version of Thunder the Barbarian on TV, and he's been the one that's actually been as King Arthur. And I'm not going to lie, guys. When I initially heard via another spoiler review that the gang being transported back to Camelot was actually all an act. I was originally a little bit disappointed, but this is still a very, very fun movie, and it turns out that the actual real villain of this movie that did in fact want the deed to the town all to herself was actually the librarian, but it's with the help of Winston and some good old fashioned fancy sword throwing that the librarians carried up to jail. Velma finally learns once again to sometimes trust in what can't be explained, and that's the movie, everybody. So again, I really did personally enjoy this. For 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 me, this has like kind of like just with the whole town, except for the librarian, like kind of putting on a show, just to just so that they can actually keep their town safe from Shaggy, even though he had no intention of investing in the his rights to the land at all. It did kind of remind me of Scooby-Doo and the Witch's Ghost, except executed um, a lot better. Obviously, just just not with as cool of an outcome, but but I still do think, everybody, that Scooby-Doo Sword and the Scoob is actually a really fun movie, and I hope you enjoyed it. And long live Camelot! And we actually do learn that that Merlin actually might have been the one thing um in 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 Camelot that may actually not have been an act after all.